Okay, everybody say hi.
Hi.
Okay. So the name of my speech is My Parents' Divorce, and this a specific purpose from it is how my parents' divorce shaped me and how I'm still growing as a person from it. My parents have been divorced for as long as I can remember. It's always just been something in my life, and it's also always just been something I was just really embarrassed from. It's always been something I'm really embarrassed from, and when it would come up, I would just avoid a conversation with my mom or my dad at all costs. I think when I was 12 or 13, I finally got comfortable with talking about it and just realized that it's more common than people realize and that I'm not the only one that has divorced parents. As divorce being really common, give a verbal response if your parents are divorced.
My parents are divorced.
Me.
See, it's a really common thing. My parents have been divorced for 12 years, and there were a lot of factors that led up to my mom and my dad's divorce. Some of them I can't really say, but I'm gonna point out some of them that I can't say. One of them was my dad had really bad money spending habits. Before he married my mom, he had 3 maxed out credit cards, and he would buy my mom a lot of designer and like boots and all that. If you've seen my mom, you know that is not really her. And then during the marriage, he bought a black BMW. I think he still has that to this day. But during that time, they had 2 car payments, so that wasn't a really responsible thing to do. My dad was really mean to my mom. My dad's mom is from Germany, and over there's a really strict expectation of what your wife is supposed to be. And so my Oma, which is my dad's mom, she always kept herself clean, tidy, always did everything that she was, supposed to be expected of. Her marriage didn't turn out good either, so yeah. But my dad wanted my mom to dress up, and even if she was going to Walmart or anything, she wanted her to dress up. Obviously, being pregnant and all, you don't want to do that, but he wanted her, and he would make comments about my mom, or just calling her fat, or just saying that she ate too much, and just being genuinely really, really mean. When my dad got deployed to Africa, my dad was in the army, and before he fought in the Afghanistan war, I don't know all that much detail about it, but these are photos of when my dad was in Africa. There's a photo of him. Yeah. And then this, I tried to do as much research as I could. This is in Iraq, but when he was deployed, these were some of the places that he saw. And then these are more photos of my dad when he was in the army. There's more, but some are not really child friendly, so keep those out. But my dad had to get deployed to Africa because they were about to lose the house that they lived in Great Bend, and so there was really no choice. It's either that they lost it or he would have to go to war. And so they together came up with a plan to just do that for the money. When my dad came back though, he had a lot of PTSD from that, and that caused him to be really mean. And he didn't believe in therapy, so he didn't do that. And that he projected a lot of anger towards my mom. How this divorce affected me as a kid was I had a really bad relationship with my dad. There were times on the weekends where I would just avoid coming. I would cry to my grandparents about it, and I absolutely avoided it. I'd make up sicknesses and say that I pink eye or something and couldn't come. And that affected our relationship a lot. He didn't ever really want to be with me and my sister either, so it was no really point. I got close to my mom and my grandparents. My mom was doing it alone for a lot of this, and so that caused us to be a little poor. And I've lived a lot of places, and we've moved around. She's in a good financial situation right now, but back then it was really hard for her, and my grandparents became a really big help. And I honestly just see my grandfather as more of a father figure than I do my actual dad. And that's my grandmother too. She's basically a second mom to me. I avoid talking about my dad. A lot of the time I did avoid talking about him because there's nothing really good to say. Yeah, he sacrificed his life for the US Army, but as a father figure, he hasn't really sacrificed much. So, like, I just avoid talking about it, and I just didn't want anybody to know that about my dad. But now I just don't really mind it. But, like, obviously you guys never see my dad around, and with reason. How I overcame this divorce. I was 4 when this divorce happened, so I don't remember any of the specifics, but in my childhood it has affected me a lot with the conversation of my dad. But how I've overcome it is I'm really comfortable talking about it. I don't mind talking about it, and honestly, it's not something that ever bothers me. I don't let it come between my goals. Although my dad has been absent in my life, I'm still a straight A student. I have a 4.0, and I'm varsity in softball, and those are like some really good goals in me, and I don't let my dad not being here come from that. I'm still a really good goal achieving student, and that's something I'm really proud of. It shaped me as a good person. Even though my dad is absent in my life, it put a perspective in me that you should never judge what someone is going through, because you never know what could be going on in their personal life. And a lot of people didn't know that that was going on in my personal life, and that I had to do that. And so I know from personal experience that you shouldn't just do that. And now my relationship with my dad. I don't have contact with my dad, and that's okay. I don't really mind it. It's really not anything I want. But right now my dad prioritizes his other family. Some of you guys may not know, but I actually have a brother. My dad got married, got remarried, and my brother, he's my half brother, but I have no contact with him, and I think maybe he's 10, but he probably has no memory of me or my younger sister. And that's something I would like to fix, but judging with how family and stuff just came down, I don't think that's ever gonna be something that I'm gonna be able to fix. In conclusion, my parents' divorce was for the best, no matter how much I wish that they were together and how much I wish I had a normal family. I know in my heart and for my mom's sake that it was always for the best, and that if it had continued, it could have been worse, a lot worse. But in summary, having divorced parents has taught me that you shouldn't be embarrassed of it or judge another person's life, because again, you may not know what's going on in their life. And that's really all for my speech. Thank you for listening. Do you guys have any questions?
No.